Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. What are 5 essential skills you should have in first aid and care for your family? We're going to go over those today, and I'm going to show you some examples. Let's get started. So the things I'm going to cover with you today are cuts and wounds, burns, insect bites, sprains and strains, and fevers. So the first thing I want to discuss with us today is the care of cuts and wounds. When you're dealing with an immediate scrape, a wound that has been caused by a cut, or some type of damage to the surface layer of the skin, you want to make sure that you're cleansing that out with some type of water and soap or a disinfecting agent. Now, here's the thing. Wound care is its own subcategory of nursing, so this is not an exhaustive video. This is a free 10-minute video on YouTube to give you a crash course. When it comes right down to it, if you're dealing with the top layer of skin that's affected, you can just simply disinfect it with something like an alcohol swab, or soap and water will be just fine. One of the things I want to reference for this video is actually our kit here, the Patriot Nurse Grab and Go kit. And as part of our setup here in the kit, we have disinfecting agents included in our bag. We also have, of course, bandages and different things that are available. But the basics here that you have to cover are clean the wound, disinfect the wound, cover the wound, and then reevaluate that wound at regular intervals and make sure to do daily dressing changes at a minimum. So those of you who have taken my online course, The Foundations of Medical Prep, you will know that we speak about this. Get it clean, keep it clean, facilitate healing. It is imperative that you keep that wound clean and that you cover it with a bandage and that you regularly take that bandage off at least once a day, evaluate that wound, make sure it's not getting bigger, and then make sure we're putting a new clean dressing over it. Why do we care so much about this? Because when you look back to cases of gangrene and erysipelas and even tetanus, one of the key predictive factors that is a positive corollary to all 3 of these is dirty wounds and wound dressings that were not changed promptly. Burns. Let's talk about burns. Burns are something that show up over and over again. They also show up, of course, when people are camping or utilizing cook stoves and they're not used to dealing with these. In our day and age, most of our activities of daily living have been replaced from fire to electricity. And so in the event that electricity is not available, people are going to default to doing their cooking on stoves or using fire as effectively the energy source. And for people who are not used to dealing with that, and in particular for children, this is very important to pay attention to, because small children, particularly babies and toddlers, because there's so little a surface area burn to, God forbid, the palm of their hand or some other part of their little bodies, that represents a significant amount of surface area compared to an adult, for instance, burning the palm of the hand. So dealing with the early aftermath of burns is important. Now, of course, when you're dealing with burns, you want to make sure that you're talking about just the top layer and not like the middle layers. That is a very complex subject, and I'm keeping it short here for this video today. You want to make sure that you are cooling that area at a pace that is not damaging. So for instance, with a burn, for instance, from the hand, you would want to use something like cool water as opposed to ice cubes. The other thing that you could do is to apply a burn gel topically. If you don't have conventional pharmaceuticals, you can utilize several different alternatives. Chamomile poultice is a huge one. Marshmallow root poultice is another one. Slippery elm poultice is another one. These herbs are useful in particular because we have a large catalog of human experience utilizing them prior to the modern pharmaceutical era. And so it's for this reason that these herbs I've just mentioned are in our supply stash that we sell, the herbal starter supply stash, but also a whole host of things that are available on the website, thepatriotnurse.com. I'm curious, many people have experiences utilizing home remedies for burns that were very effective for them. What have you utilized in the past for yourselves? Leave a comment below. The third thing I want to cover is insect bites and stings. The mosquitoes and the biting insects, they do present an annoyance, but they can also present the risk for transmitting disease in the case of, for instance, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Lyme disease, and also malaria, and in some cases, dengue fever. We don't see that as much in the United States, but these were diseases that were very much present before the modern usage of large-scale pesticides. In the case of insect bites, you want to make sure that the area is being disinfected and cleaned immediately after. But also in the case of different insects that inject venom, such as bees and wasps, you can use a drawing salve or a drawing poultice to pull that poison out. And that's one of the standard Dr. Mom remedies from old, is that plantain, a common weed that grows around much of the country, was utilized to apply into insect bites. In the Deep South, tobacco was another thing that was put into it. I actually have a great uncle who fell into a hornet's nest. They were playing when they were younger, fell into a hornet's nest, and he was brought up onto the front porch, and effectively one of my other uncles was chewing a plug of tobacco and put it right into the stings and basically drew the poison out. And so this is one of the things that was known, of course, particularly for poor and rural people in the Deep South. But in much of the country, people didn't have access to modern medicine up until quite recently. And so when you're considering preparedness for long-term issues, being familiar with these herbal remedies is a very valuable resource. And that's one of the things that I've attempted to do with the online course, the Herbal Preparedness course. A couple of great essential oils as well to use topically are tea tree oil, as well as lavender oil, and in some cases geranium oil. Now, obviously, you need to be careful if you're dealing with little children. They must be heavily diluted to be used topically, and some essential oils are not even recommended for use in children until they reach a certain age. So obviously be discerning and do your research. The next thing I want to talk about is sprains. Now, sprains seem to be in the realm of soccer mom injuries to be dealt with in the back of someone's 4x4. But this is something for us to consider in long-term grid downs as well, because when you consider things like chopping wood, lifting laundry, particularly heavy loads of wet laundry, you're looking at an increased risk for sprains, but also of back injuries. So when it comes to sprains and strains from, for instance, wrists and also ankles, which you would see, of course, in doing much more walking or walking in different areas of varying terrain. When you're looking at mitigating sprains, you want to remember the acronym RICE. That's rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And for that reason, we have a couple of things in the Patriot Nurse Grab and Go kit to help you with that. This is an instant cold pack. These are great things. What it does is it creates a really concentrated cold area, and it's really nice to have this. And then we also have ACE wraps, ACE bandages to help support and provide that compression, just a little extra external support for that area that's been compromised. From an herbal standpoint, one of my favorite things to include is the recommendation for complete bone and tissue repair, which we actually have several capsules included in our Patriot Nurse Grab and Go kits for this reason. Because when you're looking at supporting the body and re-knitting these structures, whether it's muscle or tendon or ligament, you want to make sure that at the cellular level, these tissues have the nutrition they need. And for this reason, there are several herbs that can help assist in this. When you look at the complete bone and tissue repair herbal preparation by Dr. Christopher's, there's white oak bark, and there's also marshmallow root. There are several herbs that are very nourishing and also toning for tissues that have been wounded. So for that reason, you definitely want to make sure to pay attention to the nutrition side of things and also the herbs, because they're superfoods, as part of a well-rounded protocol for managing and mitigating sprains and strains. And the last one is fevers. Now, the traditional white coat world that we've known in the United States as part of the medical industrial complex would tell you that whenever there's a fever, just give some type of suppressive medication like Tylenol or like Advil and push that fever down. We take a different view of things here at the Patriot Nurse channel, and that is, unless there is specific clinical reason why someone should not run a fever, and if you know who you are, you know who you are, unless there's specific reason for this, we believe in the supportive versus the suppressive methodology. And supportive methodology involves the use of supportive diaphoretic herbs such as chamomile, such as yarrow, and taking large quantities of these herbs in a hot tea form to induce sweating. By doing this, you're doing a couple things. Number one, you're supporting that person's fluid status, in particular for children, school-age children. These children, unless they are immunocompromised or there's something else going on, it is perfectly normal for them to run fevers of 103, 104, provided they're not in acute distress. As long as these children are well hydrated, and as long as their capillary refills 3 seconds and less, and as long as they're not experiencing any type of neurological sequelae, you're usually just fine. Now, the issue that we face in many cases is people have a fear response towards fevers. And so the first thought is once it gets to a certain level, then I'm going to default to the pharmaceuticals. We do have, for instance, in the Patriot Nurse kit, we do have acetaminophen, Tylenol, and we do have ibuprofen, which is Advil. We have those included in the kits for pain relief, but also for fever management in the case of vulnerable individuals. The thing is, though, whenever you manage fevers with a pharmaceutical, you are doing a short-term gain transaction and a long-term loss potentially. Because when the body is running a fever, it is not just ratcheting up the thermostat. It is mounting several different defense protocols. That fever and the flushing of the blood flow of the skin to the surface of the body does a few different things, not the least of which is to redirect the circulatory system to be more efficient in its delivery of immune system products. So when you suppress a fever, you're also suppressing the delivery of those immune system products to the tissues that need it the very most. So for that reason, I personally believe in the supportive methodology of herbal diaphoretic herb management versus suppressive methodology. If you're interested in this, we go into depth in the Patriot Nurse Herbal Preparedness course about this. So there's a link in the description box below if you're interested. So friends, I hope this video was helpful for y'all. We talked about the 5 areas that you should be focused on with your skills development for caring for your family's medical needs at home. And to recap, they are cuts, scrapes, and abrasions, burns, insect bites, sprains, and fevers. If you got value out of this video, please share it with someone else who you know would be benefited from it. And also, if you enjoy the free content that we have here on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed. It's free to subscribe, doesn't cost you a thing, and you click the bell button. That way you don't miss a video, and I'm not going to spam you because on average, we're talking about 1 video a week here that comes out. If you got value out of this video, friends, please smash that thumbs up button. Do me a favor. And again, I hope you have a wonderful week. If you're interested in any of the things that we have shown here today, whether it's the grab and go kit or you're interested in the online courses, the links for those are in the description box below. You can also head over to the website, thepatriotnurse.com. Hope you all have a wonderful and very blessed week. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.